In our last video, we talked about why students misbehave, and sometimes the things that are going on inside of them that are a little bit under the surface to help us understand why they misbehave. This video is how to help an emotional student. What do we do when our students are misbehaving, oftentimes because of emotional things? Just a reminder, you are more than a teacher. You provide so much to our students, more than just education. And I want you to remember that and the awesome privilege that it really is. Setting up our students for success. A story from my high school experience. When I was in high school, my favorite teacher, his name was Mr. LaFontaine. It was a history class, and I don't necessarily remember all of the specific lessons that he taught or the videos that he showed us. But what I do remember was that every day, especially after every weekend, when we came to class, he would always take about 5-10 minutes and ask us, "How was your weekend? What did you do?" And each and every one of us had an opportunity to respond, and it felt like we were cared for. And so, in my opinion, the students in that class behaved better because we were cared for emotionally. We felt like our teacher cared for us, and that helped us behave better and want to participate in his class more. Something to remember, don't confuse emotions for weakness. Crying, being emotional, they're not necessarily bad things or weaknesses. Sometimes when students cry, especially boys, there might not be much patience for them. But we need to remember that emotions are healthy and that to express emotions is healthy. So we don't have to look down and think that just because a student is crying, that makes them weak. Teaching our students about emotions. Something that will help us and help our students is teaching our students what are the emotions that we experience and what are the words that we can use in order to describe what we're feeling. Exhausted, confused, ecstatic, guilty, suspicious, confident, frightened. And then you can start having a conversation. Really, you feel frightened? Why? Why do you feel frightened? What happened that made you feel that way? And then you can say, well, what can you do about that? Is that something that you need to be frightened about? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Explain the difference between emotions and behaviors. Sometimes students don't know the difference between the two, and we need to help them understand that there's a huge difference between emotions, the things that we feel, and our behaviors, the things that we do. Sometimes our emotions make us do things that are very negative, but they are two completely separate things. It is possible to be angry and not misbehave and do something negative. We can choose to do something positive, like communicate with our words instead of hitting somebody. Validate your students' emotions. I understand that you are feeling that because you got into a fight. Sometimes our students simply want to be sympathized with and empathized with. To say, you know what, I know that how difficult that might be right now. Sometimes that's what they need. Sometimes that's what they want. Teach your students emotional regulation skills. So I'm going to go through a few different ideas of when students feel so full of emotion and out of control, what can they do to calm themselves down? Practice deep breathing. Take about 30 seconds or 1 minute in order to practice breathing, not doing anything else, just thinking about your breathing in and out. It can do wonders. Number 2, count to calm down. 10, 9, 8. You choose the number, do it slowly, and emotions will usually come down as well. Take a break. Maybe it would mean 5 minutes outside the classroom. Maybe it would mean 5 minutes in the gazebo. Maybe it would mean a little break away from everybody else to say, all right, I know my emotions are hot right now, but I need a moment to cool down away from everybody else. Create a calm down kit. Sometimes that could be coloring books or clay to play with or little toys to play with your hands, small puzzles, markers that smell good. Sometimes they need something away from everybody else to get their mind and their senses involved in something else. Problem solve with your students. Have a good conversation about problems and solutions. Why are you feeling this way? What are you feeling? What happened to make you feel this? What can we do now? What's the solution? What should we do when that person made us feel this way? How can we respond? Sometimes our students simply need to have a conversation about it. Identify mood boosters. Help students learn ways that make themselves feel better. Maybe playing outside, running around, singing a song, telling a joke or reading a joke book, coloring in a book. Help students learn what makes them feel better when their emotions are out of control. What more can you do? Ask for help. Ask coworkers or Facebook pages with other teachers. Ask a professional. What more can you do? Watch YouTube videos. If you simply type in education, classroom, emotional, problems, how to handle difficult students, you will find tons of videos that will help you. Also, reading good books about it. Boundaries for Kids is one of the best books that I've ever read on the entire topic. If you come ask me, or you can also Google it for good books on the topic, you will find a lot of books that will be very helpful to you. I hope you found these videos helpful in your class.